Hi, this is a tutorial on relating fractions, decimals, and percents. It's something done in grade 6, but we're going to be ramping it up a notch and then starting to solve percent problems, which are quite difficult. But right now we just have to review the simple stuff. So this is a quick review here we're going to go through. When you relate fractions and decimals and percents, just remember that you can describe part of a whole in 3 ways. As a fraction, for example, 1/2. As a decimal, for example, 0.5, which we know is read as 5/10. Doesn't that sound like a fraction? Reduced, isn't it 1/2? And as a percent, 50%. You all know that 50% is 1/2. That's something that's just common knowledge. So we're going to go look at an example. Fraction as a percent. Look at this hundredths grid. You can see it's got 4 sections total. 4 make up the whole, 4 equal parts make up the whole, and 3 are shaded. So this hundredths grid has 3/4 of the square shaded. To write a fraction as a percent, first write the fraction with the denominator of 100. That's what I did here. And then make an equivalent fraction. And you can see that if I multiply 4 by 25 to get to 100, if I do the same thing in the numerator, I get 75. And that's exactly what we had, 75 out of 100 squares that were shaded. So 3/4 is equal to 75 over 100, 75 hundredths, which is equal to 75%. Now, since percent means per 100, percent means per 100, and 75% equals 75 per 100, or 75 over 100. And if you divide 75 by 100, whoops, for example, here, that's 75 divided by 100. Remember, every fraction is a division question. That will give you a decimal answer, 0.75. Okay, or you can just read it, 75 over 100. Read it instead of your lazy way of 75 over 100. Say 75 hundredths, the proper way. And that gives you the decimal right there. Just read the fraction. If it's denominator of 10, 100, or 1,000, you get a decimal version. So 75 over 100 can be read as 75 hundredths. That's 0.75. Okay, we're going to look at another example now. Some practice. So let's look at this shape here in the shaded bits as a fraction, decimal, and percent. And so we're going to start off. This is a fraction that's pretty easy to figure out. There's a hundredths grid. That means it's a 10 by 10 grid, 100 squares in it. We can count 2 rows of 10 and then another 8, so that's 28 out of 100. 28 hundredths is shaded. Of course, we can reduce that to 7/25. So a lot of you have figured that out already. Oh yeah, I can reduce it. But something useful about having a fraction with a denominator of 10, 100, or 1,000 is that it's very easy to convert into a decimal. 28 hundredths is 28 hundredths, the decimal, 0.28. And now when we want to convert it into a percent, don't forget that 28 hundredths means 28 per 100, or 28%. So if you have a fraction with a denominator of 100, your percent is just the numerator. If you have a decimal, this is out of one whole. So this is 28 hundredths. And so to convert it into out of 100, we have to multiply the decimal by 100, or just move the decimal place 2 places over to the right, and we get 28%. Pretty simple, right? Sort of. Let's look at some other examples here. Here we have a shape, and it's got some shaded areas. So first of all, let's start off with all these shapes, coming up with what fraction is shaded. So we can count here. We've got 5 shaded out of 10. Great. All right, let's go on to the next one. This one here, we've got, I don't know why that's showing up. We've got 12 out of 20 are shaded. And the next one, we've got 5 out of 25. Not 5 out of 25. What is that? That's clearly not right. It's 9 out of 25, correct? Yes, 9 out of 25 are shaded. Okay, so that's a pretty easy part, just looking at what part of the whole is shaded. So let's look at the next step. The next step would be shaded region as a percent. I should have that column in the middle, but we'll go with that one next. That'll be in part 2. Stay tuned.